Right, let's start though with the developing news surrounding VAR tonight. Premier League clubs will be asked to vote on the possible abolition of the system for next season.
Yeah, the proposal has been led by Wolves and it will be heard at a shareholders meeting on the 6th of June. It's our understanding that the Premier League board is directly against the proposal. So this statement from a Premier League spokesperson has just been published. It reads, "The Premier League can confirm it will facilitate a discussion on VAR with our clubs at the annual general meeting next month. Clubs are entitled to put forward proposals at shareholders' meetings, and we acknowledge the concerns and issues around the use of VAR. However, the League fully supports the use of VAR and remains committed, alongside PGMOL, to make continued improvements to the system for the benefit of the game and fans."
Our chief reporter, Kaveh Solhekol, is with us to take us through this. Good evening to you, Kaveh. Whenever people grumble about VAR, I hear people say, but it's here to stay. Maybe it's not. What's happened and why?
Well, look, I think there is a chance that VAR could be scrapped in the Premier League from next season, simply because a Premier League club, Wolves, have used their right to put forward a resolution, a proposal to be discussed and voted on at the Premier League's annual general meeting, which is in Harrogate on June the 6th. So there will be a discussion about the pros and the cons of VAR, and then there will be a vote among the 20 Premier League clubs. And if 14 of them vote to get rid of VAR, then VAR will go. We won't have VAR in the Premier League. That's what it will take, 14 clubs to vote in favour of Wolves' resolution. Now, I think Wolves have done this in the right way. They have a right to put forward a resolution. They have done that. They've put out a statement with lots of very good points, very well-written statement, and they are quite conciliatory towards the Premier League as well. They say, look, we don't want to blame anyone. We're not having a go at referees. We've done this after careful consideration and with the utmost respect for the Premier League, PGMOL, and our fellow competitors. It all depends now what happens at this meeting on June the 6th. I think we're going to hear a lot from people who are for VAR. We're going to hear a lot from people who are against VAR. But ultimately, it is going to be up to the 20 clubs to decide on June the 6th.
And just remind us, why is it Wolves leading this movement, if you like?
Well, Wolves are one of the clubs who feel they've been hard done by when it comes to VAR. Lots of clubs have their own hard luck stories. I think Wolves, it's well documented that several key decisions have gone against them. Everybody remembers at the start of the season, for instance, when they were playing Manchester United, Andre Onana should have been sent off in that game. Gary O'Neill is somebody who's come out and spoken against VAR on quite a few occasions. But they're not the only club who have gripes. For instance, Nottingham Forest have come out and been very vocal about why they don't like VAR. But I think the tone of what Wolves have said today is very significant, because I think their statement is very well argued. If I can go through it very quickly, they say the reasons they feel that VAR should go. First of all, the impact it has on goal celebrations. Everybody complains about the fact that now when somebody scores a goal, the players, the fans don't know whether to celebrate or not, because you don't know if the goal is going to stand or if it's going to be ruled out. And that has led, they say, to frustration and confusion inside stadiums. Also, they say that it's created a more hostile atmosphere with protests. And we've also seen, for instance, the Premier League anthem being booed at games and chants against VAR. They feel that VAR has overreached its original purpose. Remember, it was introduced to correct clear and obvious mistakes. And Wolves say now it is over-analysing too many decisions. And they've also said that they are still errors, refereeing errors, despite the introduction of VAR. And they say that it's disrupted the Premier League's pace and is often overshadowing the match itself. Instead of talking about games and brilliant performances and brilliant goals, everybody seems to be spending too much time talking about VAR, analysing, looking at the pictures, demanding audio, demanding interviews with referees. So it's created an erosion of trust and reputation, according to Wolves. And they also say it is fueling completely nonsensical allegations of corruption. That is something we've heard as well. You know, some clubs feel that somehow VAR and referees have got it in for them, and you come across sort of conspiracy theories online. So I think what Wolves are saying is, look, we've looked at it, we feel it's not working, we want to have a vote, and hopefully other clubs will agree with us, and we'll get back to having the Premier League as a VAR-free zone. The same as it is in the EFL, the Championship, League One, League Two, where the referee's decision is final. The referee doesn't always get it right, but in the old days, before VAR, the referee's decision was final. And that's something you learn, you know, when you grow up playing the game. You play to the whistle, the referee's decision is final. Sometimes decisions go against you. That's life. Deal with it.
Now, the Premier League, as we understand it, the Premier League board is against this proposal by Wolves and you know, any other club that might feel aggrieved. They want to keep VAR. But I wonder about the fans, because fans talk about this in such a negative way, and they have done over so many seasons now. Are the Premier League at risk of becoming out of step with the fans and what generally people want to see when they watch a game of football?
I think it's difficult to generalise and say all fans are against VAR. I agree with you. I think the majority of fans...
Big percentage.
Yeah, the majority of fans...
Maybe not even against it, but have an issue with it. Yeah. Feel it's contentious, feel like it's ruining football.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. And I think a lot of players are against it. A lot of managers are against it as well. And I don't think it works inside stadiums because it affects the games. You don't know as a fan when you're inside a ground whether to celebrate. You don't know what's going on during the delays. And also watching it on TV, it's just non-stop, having these interruptions and then having these controversies being talked about after the game as well. It's detracting from the game. I think what the Premier League board would say, though, is, first of all, they would say Wolves are totally within their rights to do this. No problem with that at all. They can do it. Let's have the discussion and let's have the vote. But I think they would also say that removing VAR would increase the number of incorrect decisions because they've done the maths, they've looked at all the data, and they say that since VAR has been introduced, the officials are now getting 96% of decisions right, whereas before VAR, it was 82%. Now, I know, you know, people come up with all sorts of statistics and people might not believe that, but those are the official stats. 96% of decisions with VAR helping out now are correct.
So why has it not made the game better?
Well,
they can point those stats at us and throw those stats out to us as much as they want, but is the game better for it?
My personal opinion, I don't think it is. You know, I prefer football without VAR, but my personal opinion doesn't count for anything. It's up to the 20 Premier League clubs to decide what they do. And I think the Premier League board will also say, look, we acknowledge, we accept that VAR as it is not perfect, but we are developing it. It's going to be better next season. For instance, they're bringing in semi-automated offside technology, which appears to work brilliantly. So that will speed up the decision-making process with VAR over offside decisions. Also, there will be increased communication inside stadiums. So the match officials will explain their decisions to the crowd, and you'll be able to hear that on TV as well. And also, I think the Premier League would say, we are one of the leading leagues in the world. A lot of people will say the Premier League is the most exciting league in the world. It's the most watched league in the world as well. And by scrapping VAR, it would impact on the Premier League's reputation as the leading league in the world. So these are all the kind of arguments that will be being aired on June the 6th. But then it will be up to the clubs to decide what they want to do.
Yeah, how will it then work then? So 14 is the magic number. That's how many votes Wolves, who are leading this motion, need. And how does it work? So, first of all, are they likely to get 14 votes? Very difficult. We haven't got 20 CEOs and owners in the room with us right now. But are they likely to get the 14? And secondly, is that then binding? If 14 or more vote, that's it. VAR's scrapped, is it?
It is binding. If 14 clubs vote to scrap VAR, VAR will be scrapped from the start of next season. Will clubs vote for that? My instant hot take initial reaction, having spoken to a few people at different Premier League clubs, is I don't think it will be scrapped. Now, I might change my mind over the next few days when I've had a chance to speak to more people.
Yeah.
But what I'm hearing at the moment, people who are messaging me, people I was talking to when I was driving into the studios, were telling me, don't get too overexcited, Kaveh. VAR is here to stay. Yes, there are problems with it, but we've been speaking to PGMOL. Howard Webb, I've seen, has been coming to Premier League meetings, speaking to the owners, speaking to the chief executives, explaining what's been going wrong, explaining how things are going to improve. And if I was a betting man, I would still bet on the fact that we will have VAR in the Premier League next season. But who knows what is going to happen between now and June the 6th and how the clubs are going to vote in Harrogate.
Don't get too overexcited, Kaveh. Live your life by that, don't you, really?
Stay calm.
Kaveh, thank you very much indeed. Cheers.